Hey everybody, welcome back to week number 2 of Tom's Cellar Sale. We have sold out of multiple vintages of a lot of these cuvées. We just tasted through the lineup for week number 2 and I'm really happy with what we tasted, and we want to go through everything with you right now. So we sold out of 09 and 11 L'Avion. We don't have enough 10 to offer, so I went ahead and unleashed the 2012 great moderate weather in 12. It was actually the first of 5 vintages, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, that were just smooth and telegraphable. If you don't like those vintages, I don't know what to tell you. But the L'Avion, 8-year-old white wine, and it is fresh, it's powerful, it's rich, it's milky. If you love L'Avion, the 12, it's definitely a winner. What do you think, Dad?
I totally agree, but one note taste on this wine, like a lot of older reds, sometimes I need a little bit of air to open up and integrate. This wine, when I first tasted it, I mentioned to Pete, I'm not sure what's going on with that wine, and then I came back to it 10 minutes later, and it was perfect. So let it be balanced.
And with the beautiful color, I love to decant it. It just creates that golden orb in the middle of your dining room table. Conversation piece for sure, even if you're conversing virtually. Next, let's bump all the way back to 09. The 09 Angeli. Angeli, of course, is one of our favorite own-rooted hilltop blocks of Syrah. It's actually the oldest own-rooted block in the vineyard. We planted it in 2002, fell in love with only the plateau, and we named it after Mom, Tom's wife, Marilyn. Her Italian surname is Angeli, so we're honoring the woman behind the man, of course. And 09 was a warmer vintage, so it's going to be opulent, it's going to be hedonistic. What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, this is a wine that I just love to have in a glass over the course of a long dinner with several other wines on the table, because it just is one of those wines you want to meditate on.
It's too good to spin. She's like gushing, deep. That is a great Angeli vintage. Like, that is a beautiful Californian wine. Still youthful, nice, subtly dry in the finish. Great on a nice warm afternoon, even better with dinner. But man, 09 Angeli. Let's hit back to 2012, Hecho por Ruben. This is Ruben's project. Ruben's around here somewhere. Back in the day, Ruben was just doing small lots from his different vineyards that he loved. This 2012 Grenache, the only Grenache in the lineup, is from Kimsey Vineyard, which is down on Clay in southern Ballard Canyon. I know Kimsey to make really like unctuous, just downright yummy wines, and I'm actually surprised that the Hecho por Ruben is a lot more energetic, red-hued, a lot of verve. What's your take on this?
Yeah, when this wine was young, it was very closed in, and it took it about 4 or 5 years to find its sea legs, and since then it's been at that plateau where it's just time to drink right now.
It's not going anywhere in a year or two, but it is like just supple and finesse, just yeah, a happy wine, just like Ruben is a happy dude. We're gonna finish with 4 different 2010 Syrahs. And 2010 was a very cool year. We knew it was going to be one of our most age-worthy vintages, so we kept a lot of inventory on these wines. We'll begin with the 2010 Estate. This wine is like a tale of 2 lives. It began its life in the first year or so. It's been really fresh, vibrant, pure red fruit. And then all of a sudden, we noticed that a bit of Brettanomyces showed up, and it got barnyardy and really old world. Some people loved it, other people didn't care for it. And now, after 10 years, those 2 worlds have intertwined and integrated, and this is just like a savory, Francophile, beautiful, elegant Syrah now. Dad, what do you think of the 10 Estate?
I love it, and Peter thinks it might be because of the Brett. There's a hint of chocolate to this. And I have a story that I love to tell, that we know that God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th day. I always wondered, what did God do on the 8th day? And one day I had this epiphany, and I realized that God created chocolate. So on the 9th day, God woke up and needed something to taste to go with that chocolate that was still in the mouth. And so she created Syrah, and ever since then the world has been in equilibrium.
But you allowed me a water break, thank you.
Anytime, Pete.
So,
this is, by the way, the Pete and Tom Show.
The 2010 originals would be next up, and you know, a little bit cleaner version, a little more purity, but broader, beefier, brawnier. A lot of raw power with OG block, the oldest block in Ballard Canyon. Dad's original plantings from back in 1992, 1993. These are the vines that we can actually dry farm some years where we don't get any irrigation, so you just get that powerful concentration singing through. What do you think of the 10?
I love this wine, and it really demonstrates the soil differences. People don't think of Syrah as being terroir reflective, but the little quarter of the vineyard that about half of this block is in has chamise clay as opposed to the limestone lineage series of soil. And it gives the more of an earthy, my sister calls it sea brine. And I love this, any vintage of originals, but the way this was drinking right now, if I grill steaks tonight, this is going to be on the table.
Yeah, and I know we harped on it last time, but this wine, in the 15, maybe half hour since we opened it, has just blossomed. Like I really liked it. I respected the power. I think people would have appreciated it right then out of the gate, but now with a half hour of air, it's just like it's gotten a lot prettier. It's still taut. This wine is still young. Like, you know, don't worry about it. Put it in the very back corner of your cellar. I think it has 10, 15 years on it. I mean, the wine is just, it's singing.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw an empty case when I came to the tasting room today of Blues Cuvée, which is a wine that Rick Longoria made for a couple of vintages. He separated out Stolpen Cabernet Franc and bottled it separately for me. And I don't know who brought that to the tasting room, but those 94s are still not showing serious age. They got a little gray hair, but 24 years, 26 years.
Now, if you've made it this long in the video, you get to see me get the wine out of Dad's spirit. So,
My COVID beer.
Yeah. All right, the final wines, Hilltops, right? So back in 2008 and 2010, we actually made 2 different Hilltops cuvées. The 2010 regular Hilltops bottling was a blend of each of the 3 ridge lines in the vineyard. It's a really pretty wine right now, like flowery, lavender, delicate. And then we weren't even going to talk about it, but right now online, and I'm sorry if you're seeing this and you've wasted your time watching this video and it's already sold out, I think we have 44 bottles left of the 2010 Hilltops HD, which is going to be much deeper blue-black, like just get lost in it in the darkness. But the 2010 Hilltops High Density got a bit of a cult following, so I think people are gobbling it up very quickly. I think we started with about 12 cases, and without announcing it, we're already down to only 44 bottles. So hopefully you can try both, but I do love both wines. They're just very different. You get a lot more elegance, a lot more just, you know, delicate, fun flavors out of the regular bottling, but then the HD is all about that depth and kind of that milky richness, more hedonistic, I would say.
Yeah, and it again reflects the soil differences because the 2 wines come from the 2 soil profiles. So the regular Hilltops is the limestone ridge lines, and then the chamise clay in the high density. And then we like that so much that Pete and the winemaking team decided that block, instead of calling it high density, would become the Hilltops block. It's the highest elevation of Syrah being grown in Stolpen.
So today, the Hilltops bottling is the same thing as that final cuvee, what we called back then the HD. So thank you again for your support. You know, it's bittersweet letting go of all this wine, but we had to make room in the cellar. But it's been a lot of fun for us to dig through and try all of them. And it's great to get all of your excitement about these old wines that I think are just great examples of classic Californian. I love